It was the loudest sound I had ever heard, like a thunderstorm crashing in my ears. But it was only a drumstick hitting a snare. I had no idea who this guy was, but I couldn't stop watching. It happened a couple of years ago. I was new to Manila, still trying to get my bearings in a city that never seemed to stop moving. One night, a friend invited me to a bar for a jam session. I'm not much of a music guy, but I thought, why not? It's a chance to meet people at least. The place was small, dark, and packed with people. The stage was no bigger than a small living room, and the band was setting up as we walked in. There was this drummer, super chill vibe, wearing a faded band shirt and ripped jeans. He had a kind of calm that made him stand out in the chaotic crowd. He set up his kit with the focus of someone who had done this 1,000 times before. I didn't think much of it at first. The music started, and honestly, I thought it was just another night of random jam band noise. But then, this guy started playing. The way his hands moved was insane. He wasn't just playing, he was talking through the drums. His rhythm was perfect, and yet it felt like he was making the drums say something that only he could hear. It wasn't like anything I'd ever heard before. I remember thinking, how does he even do that? He wasn't just hitting things, he was creating magic. I asked my friend, who's that drummer? That's Carlo, he said. He's from the province. Used to play in this small band there, but he moved here to follow his dreams. I was amazed. Carlo played with this energy that pulled everyone in. It wasn't just about keeping time or hitting the right notes. It was about making the drums feel alive, telling stories with every beat. People around me started to nod their heads, getting lost in the rhythm. I could see why his playing was so raw and real. It wasn't perfect in the clean, polished way you'd expect in a studio recording, but that was the point. It felt alive. The band was good, but Carlo, he was on another level. He wasn't flashy, but every hit, every tap was like a conversation with the crowd. At one point, the guitarist tried to go off on a solo, but Carlo just brought the whole thing back. It was like he was the anchor, pulling the band and the audience back to the right place. After the set, I went up to him and told him how incredible his drumming was. He just smiled and thanked me like it was no big deal. But to me, it was huge. His passion was obvious, and it wasn't just about getting applause or recognition, it was about the music itself, just letting it speak. Carlo didn't end up being some huge rock star, at least not in the way you'd expect, but it didn't matter. He kept playing, kept working, kept being true to his craft. I remember seeing him at other gigs after that, always showing up early, always practicing, always giving it his all. It's been years since that night, but I still think about Carlo every time I hear a drummer who really knows what they're doing. I learned that music doesn't need fame or a huge crowd to be important. Sometimes it's the small moments, the quiet passion that make it unforgettable.